Hey, I'm back, and I wanted to do a video on a very important topic for those people that are struggling losing weight, okay, that are frustrated, especially if you're menopausal, okay? So your weight loss goal is actually setting you up for failure. Let me explain. Now there's several concepts that I'm going to cover, so make notes if you want. The first concept I want to talk about is the difference between muscle and fat. Okay, if we take 1 pound of muscle and we compare it to 1 pound of fat, with fat you have more volume than muscle. Okay, so fat takes up more space in your body. Got it? Muscle takes up smaller space. So that's the first concept. Just remember that. All right, second concept. Overweight people have less muscle than fat. All right? Concept number 2. Now, when you start a keto and intermittent fasting program, and by the way, if you don't know what that means, pause the video, go down below and watch the videos that I have linked down there so you can understand what I'm talking about, because this program will solve this issue that you're running into, this stubborn weight metabolism issue. But here's the point. When you start keto and intermittent fasting, what's going to happen, you're going to get in the fat burning. Okay, so you're going to lose fat, but you're also going to increase muscle. Why? Because you're going to trigger certain hormones that will build the muscle. Okay, so we got 2 things going on. We have a loss of fat, increased muscle, and a loss of water weight. That is because we're switching our body to fat burning, and we're no longer running our body on this stored glucose. It's called glycogen. And glycogen is like a sponge. It's like a water-filled, fluid-filled sponge. So we're not doing that anymore, so you're going to lose a lot of water weight. In fact, when most people start any program, they lose water weight for 1 to 2 weeks. And when you see these claims that people will tell you, like, you can lose 5 pounds in the first week or 10 pounds in the first week, that's only for the first week and the second week. But after that, you're not going to continue to do that. So anyone that says that is telling you a lie, because the most actual fat you can lose per week is 2 pounds, and that's a real healthy body. Okay? All right, so that's another concept that you need to understand. The next concept, when you start this program and you're losing fat and you're gaining muscle, you may or may not lose actual overall weight. Why not? Because you're gaining muscle. Muscle has some weight. Okay? So you might plateau for a week or so. That doesn't mean it's not working. So if you only wanted to focus on losing fat and not gaining muscle, then you would end up thinner but flabby with loss of tone, loss of muscle tone, and weakness. Is that what you want? No, I don't think so. You want a strong body, okay? So when you start to do this program, you're going to gain muscle. So you may or may not lose actual pounds. Now, you also may or may not lose inches. Most of the time you will, but there's a point where you're going to plateau because you're gaining muscle again. So if your muscle is getting bigger, you're not going to continue to lose inches. You're just going to lose the fat. Does that make sense? So what I'm basically saying is when you lose weight, it's not going to be consistent. It's not going to be 1 or 2 pounds a week, 1 or 2 pounds a week, 1 or 2 pounds a week, simply because we're not just talking about fat, we're talking about this muscle right here. Okay? And that's what you want. You want to actually develop your muscles. You want it to be strong. You don't want loss of muscle tone. That's called atrophy. So many people have that, especially if they're going through menopause. Okay. Now, the next concept. The more muscle that you do develop, the better the metabolism. It is true that more muscles will help increase calorie burning. So that's a concept that is true because it's more metabolic. But here's the confusion that people have. If the muscle is burning more calories, what type of calories is it burning? Is it burning actual fat calories? Or is it burning actual sugar calories? And this is where people that are doing a higher carbohydrate diet are really frustrated because they're just burning up their sugar calories. They're exercising at the gym, developing more muscles, and then burning more calories, but they're burning off their sugar calories, but no actual fat. So what we want to do is we want to switch this better metabolic machine that you're developing, more muscle, to mainly burn off fat calories. Okay? What determines what you burn is the amount of carbohydrates in the diet. That's all explained in the keto program down below. Okay? So if you cut your carbs down, then your body will be forced to burn fat and it won't burn sugar anymore. Okay? So anyway, the cool thing is that when you build more muscles, you have a better metabolism. Okay, now the last concept. Hormonally, the difference between men and women are really two different hormones. Women have way more estrogen than men, and men have way more testosterone than women. Estrogen gives the fat layer around a female body. That's why women have a different composition than men. Okay? And this is why your husband, your boyfriend tends to lose weight faster, because they're not dealing with this estrogen problem right here. Now, I know it's frustrating, but my only point is that the better you understand what you're up against, the less frustrated you will be. But basically, it's really the estrogen that's slowing things down. Okay? So, here's what I would recommend. Weight loss goal, you can have a weight loss goal, but don't make that as your main goal. Have several goals. Have an inches loss goal, a weight loss goal, a health goal, a muscle goal of making you stronger. So over time, you should be able to do more and more and more with your body and having stronger muscles. So those are the three goals that I would recommend, in addition to just having more energy, better sleep, etc. Because my philosophy is not lose weight to get healthy. It's to get healthy to be able to lose the weight. Make sense? All right. Thanks for watching. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.